Honestly, one day I just told my mom that I don't think study is my thing. So I told her that I want to really basically pursue hockey.
Welcome into the episode of Game Tape with Tony. As always, I'm your host, Tony Ferrari from the Hockey News. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Simon Wang. How's it going today, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. It's a big week for you. You're coming to the
Yeah.
OHL, making the step up from the OJHL. What went into that decision?
Obviously the rule change and I can get experience from NCAA and OHL and I don't need to move away from home next year. So I'll just say, why not? Oshawa is such a great organization that I just want to play there.
Does this push off going to BU a little bit longer?
Yeah, 100%. I think I'll get another year in with Oshawa next year and then progress from the year after that to BU.
Now let's start talking about your childhood and where you grew up. Born in Beijing, you played hockey in China at 4 years old. What went into you finding an interest in hockey?
It's kind of really interesting story. When I was in kindergarten, my friend told me there's a new sport coming up that's in a rink, and I was like, what is that? And he literally took me to one of his practice. I saw with my eyes like how cool the sport is, the equipment, the sticks, and the next thing like I'm on the ice practicing and it just never stopped.
China's obviously a growing market, but it's not necessarily the typical hockey market. What was it like playing at home and now in comparison, seeing everything in North America?
Obviously, hockey back home is not as good as here for sure, but Chinese hockey is definitely taking a big step, and the speed players think of the game is just completely a different approach.
At what point was it that you and your family decided we have to go to North America if you wanted to continue your hockey career and get to the heights that you can get to?
Honestly, one day I just told my mom that I don't think study is my thing. So I told her that I want to really basically pursue hockey and go to Toronto, one of the best developed place in the world for hockey. And I moved here when I was 12, so the rest was history.
Your mom's been a big influence on you, your hockey career, and she's made a pretty big impact in Chinese hockey as well. Obviously, now she's been the owner for a couple of years in the Kings Rebellion franchise, and she runs a camp back home. What is it like seeing her become such a prominent figure in Chinese hockey?
She provided all my training facility, coach, and the fundamental skills that I have. I think that's a big part of my skating ability, that how I transition from a bigger guy that can have still great skating ability. I think part of it is because she have the tools that I can use to make me a better hockey player when I was younger. So I capitalize it and that helps me like in game scenario and all that.
Now, with her being the owner of Kings Rebellion when you were playing there, what was it like having her around the rink and how passionate did she become about the game through your playing?
She have not only passion for me, for all the kids in China as well, to make them better. And I think sometime for me, she doesn't want to influence me that much. Just let me do my thing. Me and her have a really calm agreement that after the game, she doesn't tell me too much information and doesn't overload my mind, that just let me think how I could improve and what I did well and what I did wrong, and just let me do the judging and move on to the next game.
With the recent change to the NCAA eligibility, you've moved to Oshawa now. What have you noticed about the change from the OJHL to the OHL?
Well, the players are smarter, much faster. The game is moving at a higher pace. Everything there is just a step up than the OJ, like the facility, the video reviews, like the coaching. These past 2 days with the Osh was like unreal. Seeing all these high draft picks, like how they treat their body, like how do they warm up, how do they approach the game. It's just eye-opening to me.
You got into your first game. What was that experience like and how exciting was that for you?
I was quite nervous at the start when I hop on the rookie lab. Everyone's telling me, go, go, go for it. So I just went. I mean, I missed the net the first one, but got it the second, so can't complain. Our captain, Danny, really settled me into the game, talked to me a lot during the game. Our D coach, Patty, like I was sitting with him like for an hour after practice on Tuesday before the game, just talking about how I should play and just shouldn't be worried and just do myself and the rest will take care of itself.
Before we get to the game tape and watch some video and break things down together, can you explain to the viewers what your game's like for anybody that hasn't seen you play?
I'll say I'm a two-way defenseman that shut down opponent with my skating ability, my IQ, and my physicality, and create offense with my skating ability, my shot, and my hockey sense.
It starts off with you guys getting into the offensive zone. When the puck gets worked around to you as you skate into the zone here, you make a really nice play to kind of shake off the opposing defender, and then just a nice spin pass to the high slot where your teammate ends up scoring there for you. Talk about your shiftiness and just the skating ability that it takes to pull off a move like this.
Obviously, I'm on my weak side right now, so my first thought was get to the middle, get the shot through, but the guy is kind of in the middle there, so I kind of pull it on my backhand, try to beat him wide. I was supposed to try to pass my D partner there, but Vandy before it just right in the slot and just buried it home. So that was kind of a surprising play there, but everything worked out, so I can't complain.
That move you make on the opposing player at the blue line, it takes a lot of skill, a lot of nice skating ability and working off your edges. You're a bigger guy, so it's not always the easiest thing to do. What's gone into that aspect of your game?
I think it started when I was a kid, the extra rink time. During the summer, I trained with my conditioning coach and just really get my body dialed in as a bigger player. My skating coach and just help my edges like transition from another level.
All right, this next clip I've got for you starts off with you going back into the defensive zone. As the play gets into the corner, you make a good play to just free the puck up. You don't need to be the guy taking it all on your own. And then you see an opportunity to break up ice, and you get a good chance in the center of the offensive zone. What do you do to identify when it's a good time to kind of jump up into that offensive zone? And how important is it for you to work your offensive game off of your defensive game?
Shutting down opponent transition as quick as possible is my main priority right now. And one of our forwards caught in the zone, and behind me, I just saw numbers, and I was just like, okay, I gotta drive the net here. The rebound came right at me, but couldn't bury that one. But that was a grade A chance that I should have scored, and the goalie just made a hell of a save.
You talk about seeing numbers and understanding that with a forward back, you have that little bit of a chance to jump up and play offensively. Is that something you want to continue incorporating in your game?
Yes, 100%, because I don't want to waste my skating ability and my hockey IQ as well. And Osh will play a really active game that allow our defensemen to jump up when the time's right.
This next play, you talk about killing defensive transitions is one of your most important factors in your game. You do that, you strip the puck off here, and you make a pass on the breakout. What goes into just reading a play like this, seeing where the offensive game's coming from the opposing team, and then making that play in the neutral zone?
So first here, I can strip the puck from him, try to get speed. I saw second layers going at me, so delay, try to find our weak side D or the center that's curling up to get some speed. He had a ton of speed attacking, which is great, and it was a good transition.
Now, as a player that came into hockey a little bit later, came in from an untraditional route, what was it like for you to work on the finer skills, like making a pass like this as you're curling around and being a little bit more agile with your skill?
I really started developing my hockey sense when I was like 15. I was watching a lot of NHL games, and I visualized myself as a certain defenseman or a certain situation, how I should play, and I could really transition into practice, and after practice, I just started doing it in the game. And I feel like just come natural to me now.
This next play I've got for you here shows off that skating ability you talk about. You just kind of come around the net here and then wheel up ice. How do you think your role changes as you advance up levels from the OHL to the NCAA eventually, and hopefully one day the NHL?
I'll try to use my skating ability as much as possible. I just got to read off the forecheck. The other wing is cheating on the wall side, so I try to go to the middle and see if there's a play coming out. But it depends on what kind of forecheck they're running. I'll do different breakouts, and I'll still be joining the rush as much as possible and create an offense.
Is there an NHL defenseman or maybe a player that you've looked up to for a few years and you try to model your game after him?
Victor Hedman, because he's such a big guy, great skater, and just can shut down opponent with his size, his stick, and his body, and create offense with his skating ability, his shot, and like his hockey sense.
The last clip we've got for you here is a nice little goal you score. You work into the offensive zone, you show off a little bit of power as you get the puck curling around here, and you show off some really nice hands in tight to kind of score the goal here. Talk about this part of your offensive game a little bit.
I just got off the change, my legs are fresh, join the rush. Our center's coming up, drive the outside lane. He dish it to me. I have a ton of speed and space, protect the puck. I went inside, cut back in, saw the goalie slide a little bit, so the 5-hole should be wide open, so I just tuck it in.
Now, you talk about visualization quite a bit. Is that something you're doing off the ice pretty regularly to make sure that you're preparing for on ice scenarios as well?
Yes. Every time I have a chance to visualize my mistake to fix it, I'll do so. I read a book about sports psychology that your mind lead your action. So I believe that deeply. So I try to visualize my mistake after each game. I just make sure I don't make the same mistake in the next one.
You've played a lot of hockey. You've played at a few different levels now. Who's the toughest player you've played up against? Or maybe there's a player that you've played with that's kind of left you in awe a little bit?
I'll say Beckett Senecki and Osher General, like just how skilled he is, how he approached the game. It's just unreal.
We've talked a lot about the on ice stuff, so let's get off the ice for a little bit. If I hit shuffle on your Spotify playlist, what's one of the top artists on there?
Kendrick Lamar is definitely up there. Frank Ocean, sometime when I go to bed, and I'll say Drake.
Fair enough. If you're gonna have Kendrick, you gotta have Drake as well,
Yeah,
especially after this summer.
oh yeah, 100%.
Now, is there a comfort movie or TV show that you binge watch to kind of take your mind off of hockey and stuff?
I love like the Netflix sports series, NFLs and NBA, and even on Prime Video, the Face Off. It's great. I just love watch like sport related stuff.
Now, looking back at your game a little bit, what are the areas of your game that you think need a little bit of improvement?
Scanning the information in all times, especially in D zone, like knowing where my man is, early box out, good awareness of where my teammate are, and in the offensive zone, get the shot through. I find my passing option as quick as possible.
I'm sure you've talked to a ton of NHL scouts. There's been so many reports of how many were at your games
Yeah.
when you were with Kings Rebellion. When they asked you, why should we draft you? What's your answer going to be?
I have an unreal passion of the game that I just want to be the best version of myself every day, that I put in the work daily. I have a notebook, literally write down my daily goals that what I need to accomplish before I go to bed. I'm a student of the game. I compete. I do whatever they take to win.
When your hockey career comes to an end, hopefully quite a long time from now, what do you want people to remember about Simon Wang, the person?
Just a really easygoing guy that is really kind, love to joke around, and just a great guy overall.
Simon, I really appreciate you doing this. Good luck the rest of the season, and I'll hopefully catch you in Oshawa a little bit.
Thanks, Tony.